Hello angels, welcome into this video. If you have ever received a comment that made you feel like quitting, that made you feel less than, that made you feel small, that made you doubt yourself, this video is going to be for you. The last video I made, I was explaining that I received my first YouTube comment that was quite cruel and my human self was deep in my feels about it because it hit wounds within me that I've had for a very long time. If it were not for my soul and my connection to the spirit realm, I would not have been able to pull myself out of that and continue to show up for you and for myself. It got me to thinking about all of the women that I admire and what would happen if they received a comment that made them quit. They did not quit. And neither will I, and neither should you. Whether it's in your personal life, in your professional life, if you're trying to have an online presence, there are going to be people out there who do not agree with you. And that's actually a good thing. You are not going to be for everybody. There is going to be a specific collective, a specific soul tribe that is unique to you. I wanted to share the women that have really impacted my life, because I think it's really important to help shine the light even more, to help give you more resources for your journey. So the women that I am so glad never quit on their journey, they, no matter what happened, I think about all of these women and how strong of an online presence they have, how strong their soul is, how deeply divine they are, and how they pushed through even before spirituality was trending, even before the masses even knew anything about this stuff. They sat in their bigness and they did not shrink. And I am so glad, because I don't know where I would be if it were not for these voices leading me on my spiritual journey. The first woman that I want to mention is Lorie Ladd. She helps people understand the human experience and about the evolution of consciousness. I don't know where I'd be if it were not for her, because she makes being human makes so much more sense. She explains the way that our consciousness is evolving at this time right now, and how you might feel weird, how you might feel different, and that's okay. You were meant to feel different. You were not meant to be the normal status quo. I think about women like Brittany Bento and her amazing intuitive gifts with tarot and channeling messages, and how she shows up so authentically in every single video. You can feel it. I don't know her and I know her. She shows up and she screams and she cries and she is not afraid of her emotions. She's such a beautiful divine feminine, and she went from living a normal life to taking the spiritual route blindly, and it's such an inspiration. I think about women like Alexis Smith, who has had a YouTube for a really long time and started deepening her inner work journey, which made her understand more about herself as a feminine woman and how to teach other women how to sit in their femininity, how to use that as a superpower. I think about women like Christina Lopes and how she uses her channel to speak about spiritual awakening, to help people make sense of it, to know that there are stages to it, and each stage is different. Each stage you're going to feel different in, and how to navigate through that so that you don't feel lost. I think about women like Pam Gregory, who teaches astrology, and she is so brilliant. She can help you understand your birth chart, your natal chart, and she can give you a free one. She's amazing. And all of these women did not quit no matter what. And they have hundreds of thousands of people watching their videos. That would be hundreds of thousands of lives that did not get impacted with their wisdom if they chose to shrink. I might not have hundreds of thousands at this moment, but I am still choosing not to shrink, because at some point those women were me. At some point they only had a small number of people on their channel. They only had a small number of people in their circle that even understood what they were talking about. Thank God for the internet, so that we can expand ourselves, our circles and reach more people. So if you are seeing this video and you are resonating with it, please comment, like, and subscribe, because that really helps my channel grow. When people give you a negative comment, it really has nothing to do with you, and that's something that I need you to remember. People are going to project their limitations onto you when your light is shining on their darkness, when your light is shining on their shadow. That is something that if you're doing the inner work, you know it's really hard to face your shadow. So people, when you are free, when you are expressive, when you are not afraid to be big or misunderstood or whatever, and you just want to use your voice and you want to create and you want to be who you are and you want to be unique, that triggers people who don't see that within themselves, who feel like they can't be free, who feel like they can't communicate and express themselves, who feel like they can't be creative. And I want to make it clear that sometimes people say things to you and it hurts, but it's constructive criticism. So there's a difference between somebody trying to help you by saying, you know what, maybe you should try this with your videos, maybe you should do this. That's constructive criticism, and sometimes you can take the information and build from it, and sometimes it doesn't apply to you, and that's okay. That's a big difference from someone actually being cruel to you, being rude to you, trying to tear you down. And remember that you are living your life not for validation, but for alignment. I am not making a YouTube so that people can be like, wow, Abby's really cool. I'm making a YouTube because God told me to. Because this was my direction, this was my vision, this was what I was being called to. So I'm answering the call and I'm doing what is being asked of me, even if it's uncomfortable, even if people make me cry sometimes. That's okay, because I know I'm in alignment. In the Bible, in Matthew 13, it says, though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand. But blessed are your eyes, because they see, and your ears, because they hear. Spiritual perception is not something that everybody has. It is a gift. So although some people are going to hear you and see you, they can't actually hear you and see you. The resonance is different. They can hear the noise, but they don't understand or understand what you are saying. They can see you as a human being, but they cannot see your soul. So you might be speaking to the deaf and you might be appearing to the blind, and that's okay. You don't have to convince everybody of your truth. You don't have to make everybody see what you see. Just show up and God will do the rest. If you're watching this and someone's tried to make you feel small, remember that you are not here for approval. You are here to lead, even if your voice shakes.